Welcome. I did not promote this very well, so I will go ahead and retweet. But this live is probably going to be very, very short because I did do a reading vlog for this one where I did say I wanted to talk to the people about this. I did say that, but I discussed a lot in the reading vlog. So this is really to hear the other side because I gave this 2 stars. I think I gave it 2 stars. Hello. I'm pretty sure I gave this 2 stars because this was not the moment for me. I thought this book, like I said in the reading vlog, it felt like I could just go watch Surviving R. Kelly, and I probably would have had a better time rewatching Surviving R. Kelly because this book, I don't think it added anything to that kind of a narrative. I don't think it was particularly well written. I will say maybe a lot of this was also just what is the word I'm looking for? The e-arc that I was reading, every 3 seconds, I was reminded I was reading the arc. So maybe that also kind of just didn't fully allow me to immerse myself in the story. Okay. See, yeah, it didn't do it for me. Oh, I never even pinned this. That's sad. I guess I can pin it now. We can make this the pinned tweet. Oh, well, actually I can't because I'm not in the right account, but it doesn't matter. I don't have anything more to say. I was just really here to see if other people enjoyed this because I certainly did not. Like I said, 2 stars. I do think that after having gotten some distance, I don't think I am upset. What was even the main character's name? It was something Enchanted. I don't know if I really am annoyed with Enchanted as much, but I do think that a lot of the narrative, like this just feels like the kind of book that was written to send a message, to do some it's like a made for TV movie from the 70s. We're going to learn a little moral. There's going to be a Sunday afternoon special type quality, because I thought Enchanted was purposefully okay. I thought that Enchanted was purposefully, I don't want to say obtuse, but a little bit obtuse. A little bit. She was I know that like sheltered people exist, and that was what made her so easy to be manipulated by whatever his name is, R. Kelly. I just think that she was written unrealistically, seeing that she owed a bunch of kids. Hello, Amber. Yes. See, that's my thing. Like, she was like this older sister, but purposefully obtuse. But she was also in charge of like watching these children. So it was like the situation where the main character was parentified, and then she was also purposefully obtuse. Thank you. But I also thought that her parents, like I said in the reading vlog, they were too in the know. Like, her parents knew that this man was a down and dirty dog. Like, he was no good. He was going to ruin their daughter. And then within like 3 seconds of talking, they're like, actually, you know what, go on this tour. Like, nothing that the parents did truly. I think that her parents were really naive to the next level, and the parents were naive to the next level out of nowhere. Because at least with Enchanted, like, you could see, well, in their first like little text conversations back and forth, where R. Kelly was like, oh, you should read 50 Shades of Grey. And she was like, the fuck? Like, you could kind of see that there was still an innocence. But see, I think that's what the narrative wanted us to look at it as. But in the beginning, her parents were like, I thought we were going to a swim meet. Why are we at this singing competition? I think that it's different than Aaliyah and Whitney Houston because her parents were like, you can't, like, no, like, we were going to a swim competition. Like, why are you trying to sing? Like, you have to watch your siblings tonight. And then when the narrative needed her to go with R. Kelly or whatever that man's stupid name was, who apparently won a Tony, they were like, actually, we want the money. And so, like, their motivation shifted out of nowhere when, like, literally at the beginning, like 15 pages ago, they were like, sis, you need to go to school. You're going to go to college. Like, this little singing thing is fun. It's cute. But you're not Beyonce. Like, it was weird. Like, when the narrative needed them to be these parents, they became these parents. And that's what we got. But that's not who they were at the beginning. Corey, thank you. Exactly. Every time something happened, I said, ma'am. I said, like, that's why I don't understand why we're calling the man Corey. Because it's like she sat there watching that Lifetime special with a pen and paper. And she said, whoop, whoop. And everything that R. Kelly did, Corey Fields did. Everything. Everything. From hanging out at schools, they were peeing in buckets. It was the other survivors were on the payroll. Like, everything. Enchanted saying that's not me in the sex tape. Everything that R. Kelly did, Corey Fields did. And I was just looking at it and I'm just like, it's so weird. I don't understand. And I don't even think that, like, Grown is written for, like, a younger audience. Like, if you have, I don't know, like a 13-year-old and you don't want the 13-year-old to watch Surviving R. Kelly, like, you could give them this and you could get, you couldn't even do that. Like, so I am confused about who the actual demographic is for. And I think that maybe this is a little bit mean, but I don't know if Tiffy knows who the actual demographic was, because every beat is there. Like, every single, she didn't miss one, like, not one beat. I mean, even down to Corey Fields having a wife that nobody knew about. Nobody knew, like, I mean, I think that people knew about Andrea Kelly. Like, people talked about her and they were like, you know, they did point to her. But Enchanted had no clue that this man was married. And what really pissed me off the most was what should have been the most poignant scene in the Survivor group was what that part. Sis said, I'm going to be a... I can't argue with you there. I don't think that even though her books are always marketed as YA. See, that's fine. Like, I will be clear, this was my first Tiffany D. Jackson book. And I won't say that it was poorly written, but I did think that it was severely underwritten. I didn't think that, like I said, I thought that Enchanted's motivations were weird. Her parents had very flip-floppy emotional motivations. Corey Fields felt very, again, underwritten. I was looking for that. Let me put that away. His motivations felt, he was, like I said, R. Kelly, but he's younger than R. Kelly is, but he was supposed to be as successful. And, like, you can be 20 some odd years old. I think he's supposed to be like 24 or something in this book. Maybe 26. He's not super old. I guess he's old for a YA book, But for him to be as young as he was, as super successful as he was, like, you're gonna have to make me believe it. And I didn't believe it. Corey Fields still felt like the 17-year-old popular kid, which is fine. You can be the 17-year-old popular kid. And like, I think I almost wish that Corey Fields had been a little bit younger. I don't think it would definitely not be. I think that would have helped with the R. Kelly comparisons. Like, you could still, I don't know. Like, it's just, he was doing too much and it wasn't well written enough. And I'm just like, Corey Fields, R. Kelly, whatever your name is going to be. It didn't work for me. And I did think that a lot of the scenes, they weren't well cohesive to me. I thought they were pretty disjointed. Again, after every chapter, HarperCollins was reminding me that this was an arc. After every chapter, new page, this is an arc. Don't understand why. So like, maybe without that, it would have felt a little bit cohesive. But even then, I felt like we would often get the beginning of a moment, and then we would get like, not even like the immediate aftermath. We would get the aftermath like 3 days later. Hello, Aaron. One last thing, am I really supposed to believe that she was knocked the fuck out? Woke up enough to plunge a knife into him and pass out again. I tried to tell her and she let me down severely. I guess we can talk spoilers. There's 11 of us in here. This is a nice, intimate community. We've read the book. This is what we're here for. When it was revealed that the little assistant lady killed that man, I said, I almost wish it was Enchanted. Like, I really wanted Enchanted to be a murderess. I would have even been okay with her father being a murderess. Well, I guess he'd just be a murderer. He can be a murderess if he wants to be murderous. So, like, when it was like, what's her name, April or something? And she was, like, salty because she was another survivor of his and she was just there. I'm just like, ma'am, you were clearly traumatized. I get it. So, like, I guess it's kind of like a power moment for you. But if I'm supposed to, like, root for Enchanted, it's a little bit more conflicting because you did aid and abet in her abuse. So, like, I guess we got some gray zone area here. But I don't think that Tiffany D. Jackson was, I don't know if they talented enough to, like, to convey the gray zone. That feels a little rude to say you're not talented. But I feel like there was wasted gray area there, especially because this book is long as fuck. This book dragged on for like far longer than I thought it needed to for the amount of story we were getting. Definitely think we could have condensed. Definitely think it could have been shorter. Definitely don't understand why it wasn't shorter. Murderess. I didn't know that Renee Haudier, I can't pronounce Renee's last name. I didn't know Renee used the word murderess. Great minds think alike, clearly. But I was not the actual final murderess. Was a severe letdown, which I guess is in line with the rest of the book. I think that once I got 10% in and I realized that it was just going to be beat for beat R. Kelly, the YA novelization, the expectations were immediately lowered. I do wish I had enjoyed it more because I remember people really going to bat for this book. Like, they were really feeling like this book was doing something. I don't know what they thought it was doing, what they thought it was serving, because it isn't serving any of that as far as I'm concerned. But the author's note stated that she dated a 22-year-old when she was 15. So maybe that's why. I mean, I have never been in a grooming situation. I don't know how much overlap there is between people who have been groomed. So I don't know like how much of Enchanted Story is like pulled from her experiences and how much are pulled from R. Kelly. But I think that just in the character work, the way that Corey Fields tried to like shroud himself in charity work, particularly in work like with Black entertainment communities and gospel situations, it feels more like we're pulling from R. Kelly and just as a more generic story of grooming. But you know, maybe it's not. I don't know. Like I said, I think that this just felt like Surviving R. Kelly, the YA novelization, and it was, you know, popular at the time. When Grown, there was a lot of buzz for Grown. There was, you know, the publisher really pushed the book, so maybe she was able to get it out there. But it like we've discussed, I thought it was severely lacking. I think that she could have pulled this off if it wasn't rushed, but I'm convinced they were capitalizing on the timing. Maybe, but like it came out in like the fall, didn't it? I think it was like a September release. So I'm pretty sure that like both seasons of Surviving R. Kelly and the little mini movie between the seasons had like come and gone. I mean, clearly it's still a Me Too era. It's still more of a read a Black author era. So I don't know like what they were trying to like land on, but it was successful. Like I said, it had a very big marketing push. I've seen nothing but praise for it. But even if I were to take out the grooming narrative, right? Like if I'm not judging, if I think it was well done, if I thought that the character motivation made sense, I think that just on a sentence level, like our sentence is good, our sentence is nice to read. Do they flow? No. Poorly written. And again, it's no intended shade. I am not an author, you know? I'm not going to pen the next great American novel. Yes, the cover is pretty. It's her prettiest cover. She has like 5 books and 1 pretty cover. People are saying it's good because it's about a relevant issue. That's it. Yeah. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if that was a lot of people's takeaway. And that's fine. I know there are a lot of people on BookTube in general that don't like to post negative reviews just about any book. And some people just genuinely, magically find books that are 5 out of 5 every time. Like they just know themselves that way. Not me. Will never be me. But I do love that for the people. Love that for other people. I don't see me reading it because the book is too close to Surviving R. Kelly stuff. But it is. Like I said, I think it's pretty much beat for beat. And again, like when you're a famous individual, like I don't know if you just abuse people differently or if all famous people abuse people the same, or if I have just watched those episodes too many times to enjoy a book like Grown that is very similar with a main character that is very obviously R. Kelly. But this book is definitely not for everyone. I can't remember if I did not read a finished copy. So the finished copy might include a list of trigger warnings at the beginning of the book. I have been seeing more of those lately, so maybe they were included. But I also think that people just know that Tiffany D. Jackson writes a bunch of heavy books. I don't know what the thing is, but I'm pretty sure everyone's told me that she don't be writing, like light, fluffy, fun summertime books, which I kind of thought Grown was going to be And then I was told Grown is a thriller. And I don't know if I would call it a thriller, but sure. By that I mean the murder scene. Like this book, I think a lot of the book needed a bunch of editing. The arc that I read, I don't know where in the process that was done, like how much editing was done after that. But when I tell you that it felt like I was reading bare bones, like we are talking like maybe a step above an outline. Like everything, it was like the rough. I thought I was getting like the rough idea of what was going to happen in each chapter, because it would literally be like 3 taps on the Kindle and then I'd be done with the chapter. So it was like, is there more content here? Am I missing something? I don't think I am. But it was very like I said, it was like bare bones, which I know a lot of people really like it, you know. I think William, what was it, like, is it Faulkner or Hemingway, who also does like really short sentences. So like people have made that a style throughout time, and it's like been really successful for them. This was Tiffany's like 4th book, so her publisher thinks she's doing something right. They keep giving her money. They appreciate the returns they're getting. It's working for the other people who gave this 4 or 5 stars, but for me, I thought I was reading, like I said, bare bones. I needed a little bit more fleshing out. I kind of wanted the story to breathe a little bit more. I also, can we talk about what's her name? Gabriella? Her little Latinx, her white passing Latinx friend, because I thought that was foolish. Was that in the final copy? Was that there? Because when I tell you that little friend, I think this is why people call it a thriller, because there is a trope in mysteries or thrillers where they have like this what was the reason? What was the reason? Okay, so it was in the fit. Okay, so Miss Gabriella, who she had me questioning my sanity, which, you know, good on Tiffany D. Jackson. But I was like, how does the whole, I mean, I know that they didn't like eat lunch in the cafeteria, but like people had to see Enchanted with this girl somewhere. Like it didn't make any sense. And so like they had didn't they have like one, I don't know if they had a class together. I might have made that up. But literally nobody like literally nobody's enchanted with this girl. And then I'm out here like, okay, maybe that was like an imaginary friend, because sis hasn't been in the book for a whole like 3 million pages. And now her phone is going to this random white person. It was so, like, it was the most ridiculous part of the whole story. And then when she walked in late on in the book, like 5 seconds before the book was over, and then she wanted to, like, talk down to the police. And it's like, bitch, you have known this whole time. And I know that, like, she's a child, and Corey Fields again is like threatening her, and they're like, you know, extenuating circumstances, and, you know, life is complicated, and whoa. This was your homie. Like, this is your friend. You are the only friend this person has. And then when you finally show back up, you want to talk down to the police. Like, they should have been able to figure out this thing when you were doing some bootleg witness protection for your foolishness. The entire plot was foolishness. And the first, she said they were classmates. Yes, that's why I'm like, I could understand, like, if you know me, like, y'all know me as Monty. So if I went missing and we were in school together, y'all be like, oh yeah, me and my friend Monty. And then the teachers would be like, oh, there's no Monty on my roll book. there's a this person. I've heard other people call, like, ain't nobody. I know that she said everyone else called me like Abby or some stupidness. But I was just like, really, really, like this, that right there was worse. That was worse for me than the entire Corey Fields plotline. In the entirety of that whole, like, was it the best written in terms of like I was questioning my sanity? Sure. I will give them that. But at the same time, I was like, this is the worst. Like, this is unrealistic. I hated it there. There was nothing that I hated more than having to sit through that. That was by far and away the most painful part of the whole book. I know I was talking down on Mr. Corey Fields. I take it back. I take it back every nasty thing I said about that man. Yeah, I don't. That part I thought was but that was I know that trope doesn't work for a lot of people, but I also know that this whole like questioning my sanity trope comes up again and again and again in these like mystery thriller reads. So I don't think I was completely shocked that it appeared here, because I mean, I did think it was poorly executed, but I was not like, oh, how did they come up with this? I'm like, okay, this is a ride or die trope of the genre, and you kind of hate to see it, but it's not a surprise. Unfortunately, not a surprise. At least for me. Maybe people who don't read as much, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It wasn't the best. I'm not a mental health expert though, so like I tend not to, I just say that this is the trope, and I don't think that trope can be done well. I just think that I think it would have been more in depth if written in third person. Maybe. I don't know what would have saved. I think that if I had, I think I would have preferred the book to be just more consistent, because there were parts that I felt were underwritten, like I said, like that whole plot line with the friend and Corey Fields I thought was underwritten. And then there were parts I thought were overwritten. So I feel like if we had just found like a nice balance there, I could have lived either way. But I also don't really have a preference for like first versus third person. I just kind of were in it. I don't want to take it back. I actually don't like first person. That I just lied to the people. I really like. I don't hate it. I will read a book in first person, but it takes a lot more convincing to get me to appreciate a book written in third person. But I think we're gonna start winding down. We'll end this in a couple of minutes around a clock, because I've talked about everything. If there's any, like I said, any last minute things you guys want to talk about, I will wait for them. The thing about Question My Sanity line is has to be built from the first line, or at least page, not tacked on at the end. That that's fair. I mean, I think that like I didn't know, I don't know if I believed that Enchanted was questioning her sanity, but I was definitely questioning mine. Aaron, you know what I meant. You know what I meant. 30-minute. Anyway, I questioned I don't think that Enchanted was questioning hers, even though Corey was like gaslighting and that other girl was gaslighting and everybody was also the that one person who was like the son, the nephew of the record executive. That was a weird plot line that was foolishness. Like, I don't know if I believed Enchanted was questioning her sanity, but I did question my own sanity. Like, I didn't know if I could really trust what I thought I had read, because clearly something was going on in the story. But Enchanted, I was like, girl, I mean, you've been through a lot, so maybe we're just gonna keep reading, because I just wanted it to be over. But I do think that's a good point. I do think that if you were going to have Enchanted question of whether or not she could be trusted, that needed a lot more. That was also something that was underwritten. But while I wait to see if there's any last minute questions, wanted to remind people that our April pick is How It All Blew Up by Arvin Amati. I believe this one's on the shorter side. It's a little bit of a lighter book. We got... Okay, maybe it's not lighter, because again, we got blackmailing. I still don't know how much blackmailing is really prevalent in the in that was weird. But other than that, I think it's a pretty fun time, pretty touching on some heavier topics, but not in a heavy-handed way. I think the Arvin Amati was much more subtle than Tiffany D. Jackson. I'm looking forward to the reread. The Sunshine was odd too. Was he trying to say all men are trash? Probably. Outside the dad, the other black men in the book were villains. I mean, I don't see any lies. I see no lies detected. I really did like the little nephew person at first, but then it became like and I didn't understand. I also didn't understand the whole like Will and Willow group. They seemed to be a completely unnecessary addition to the plot, to anything that was happening, because they weren't actually. That's accurate. I didn't think they added anything to the story. So if we had removed that weird like parent friend group thing that they had going on, I think we could have had a little bit more space, a couple more pages for some of the stuff that I would like to see more of. Or if they were going to be in the book the way that they were, I would have preferred, because even the boys in that chat were like gross. It was weird. I didn't understand the point of it, because we were already seeing the fallout with Enchanted's sister, and her sister like having a rough go at school now because of everything. Like, that support group, one, offered no support, and two, was just like another lead balloon holding the book down, not from greatness, but at least from being average. Not everything can be great. We can't all achieve perfection. But I think the book could have been average. It could have been perfectly fine with a very nice cover. And now it's just a nice cover and a book that I don't know who I'm supposed to recommend it to. It's not for children. It's not for adults. I don't know who it is for. And no one in the chat knows who it's for. So I think that everyone who the book is for, they found the book. They made this happen for themselves. But with that reminder that How It All Blew Up by Arvin Amati is this month's pick. I think this is where I'm going to end it. If you guys want to continue the discussion, you can, at me on Twitter. You can leave comments in the comment section once this processes, and I will get back to you. But thank you for taking some time out of your Sunday to come chat with me. I hope that you are able to spend the rest of your Sunday relaxing, drinking plenty of water, making sure that your needs are all being taken care of. There will be a reading vlog sometime this week. My original plan was by Wednesday. That is feeling very ambitious. So hopefully by Friday. But until then, like I said, I'm on Twitter. You can interact with me there. And I'll see all of you. In April, we are reading How It All Blew Up by Arvin Amati. After this is done, I am going to tweet about it. I'm going to make the graphic. so that we can. Yeah, I also posted it in the community tab. That I can do quickly. The graphic might come later tonight. I'm just happy because when I was doing the reading vlog, I thought it was just me. So I feel very happy that I'm not the only person who was disappointed. But like I said, well, that sounds fun, but I actually am going to go now because I said I'm going to go like 3 times, and I haven't done it yet. So thanks for being here. I'll chat with you guys at the end of this month about how it all blew up. Bye.